Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga on day number 23 of the 40-day meet. And it's a glorious Saturday here at the Spa. Mostly sunny skies, the temperature right around 80 degrees. The main track is fast, the turf courses are firm. The portable rail is up at 27 feet on the melon turf, and there's no portable rail on the inner. And here now today's changes. In the first race, scratch number 9, Fantastic again. Scratch the 9, Fantastic again. Second race, scratch 1, Letty, part of an entry, and scratch the 5, Jake Rocks. Scratch 1 and 5 out of race 2. In the third race, scratch number 2, Cadencia, and the 10, Mama's Gotta Run. In the third, scratch numbers 2 and 10. Today's fourth race is the Grade 2 Saratoga Special for 2-year-olds. Please note there'll be no show, trifecta, or superfecta. Scratch number 5, Owens Leap. Scratch the 5, and race 4 will begin a mandatory payout, pick 5. In race 5, scratch the 6, Sunset Louise. Scratch number 6. A rider change will be announced for number 4, Sweet Maeve. Rider change to be announced on the 4. The pick 6 today begins in race 6. Note that number 5, Golden Hornet, is a gelding, not a first-time gelding. Number 6, Tommy the Torch, a rider change to Jacqueline Davis. Jackie Davis on the 6, Tommy the Torch. Scratch 7, Sheriff Bianco, and 10, Majority Partner. Sixth race, scratch numbers 7 and 10. In the seventh race, scratch the 9, Black Rain. Race 7, scratch the 9, Black Rain. In the eighth race, scratch 12, Seal Beach, through the 16, Icarus. Scratch 12 through 16, out of race 8. In the ninth race, scratch number 9, Lupo's Legacy. Scratch the 9, Lupo's Legacy. Today's featured 10th race is the Grade 1 Fourstardave handicap. There are no changes. And no changes to report in race 11. Main track fast, turf courses firm. We'll be back at 12:30 to recap the changes. First race post today is at 1:05. Up next, Serling, Stabile, Talking Horses.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses on day number 23, the 5th Saturday of the Saratoga meet, Fourstardave Day. Saratoga Water, our illustrious sponsor. We appreciate their support. The ice cream man is Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Sterling, and it is an absolutely, I hate to keep saying it after this week, but this is like incredible, isn't it?
It's about time. It's about time we had a nice little run like this.
Well, it was warm. But we've had very little rain. We've lost a handful of turf races.
Andy, I want it all. I'm a Gavon.
It's a lovely day, and we're here with you.
It's beautiful. There's a nice breeze here today.
One person hit the Big Six yesterday.
Congratulations.
Wow, that was close to almost a $600,000 carryover. But congratulations, whoever hit it.
I got run down late in the pick 4. Needed the 5 to hold on the race before.
Sorry, I'm trying to
Told you I liked that horse in the last race a little bit.
Well, being on the rail is good on the inner turf course, and contrary to what some may believe, not being on the rail is a problem. But certainly being wider than the 2-path, but that's a longer discussion.
Would you like a toasted almond or a strawberry shortcake bar today?
We'll talk about that later. You should head over to Naira Bets.
I do like an ice cream man. You're right.
You do.
I know.
You do.
That's a good thing.
We'll match you with $200 your initial deposit. You use the promo code TOGA200. And head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member, no better time than the present. Essential quality, winning last year's Travers. Travers coming up just 2 weeks from today. Still so much great racing left to go as we're early in the second half of the Saratoga meet. What else do we have today? We might have a bankroll builder, right? 50 to win on the Fourstardave, and you'll get $20 towards the Travers.
Opt in.
By the way, opt in. Thank you for that, Anthony. And what else do we have? We have, there we go, 12:30 to 3 on FS1. FS2, 3 to 6, and then we close it out 6 to 7 on FS1. Saratoga Live today, which will include the races from Churchill Downs. All right, race numero uno.
The Foist.
We've got one horse that ran on the turf. I think one horse that ran on the turf. Am I right? Yes. And that's the 2, as Joseph O'Brien will try to get a win up here in Saratoga. Has some interesting runners coming up in the following days. And I do think the Reckoning Force is dangerous in this race. If we put our picks up, how are we doing, guys?
The picks were up without our picks. Just the names were up. I like 1-3-2-5.
Grammatical issues. What do you have? What, say it again?
1-3-2-5.
All right, 1-3-2-5.
You?
I went 7-2-1-3.
Okay.
Can somebody tell me in my ear
They're
for
up
having?
now.
There we go. Okay.
Tip on Shug. There's a big tip on Shug.
Big tip on Shug.
Now, I feel like a bit of an idiot jumping on.
You want to give us any particular reasons or just the usual coterie of reasons?
Yeah, reason number 93 is the fact that I...
You're awfully generous yourself this morning.
I missed the first 2 Shug firsters.
Right. I was gonna point out that Shug's one.
The second one I had second.
Yeah, no, that was a logical horse. That was last week. The West Point horse.
This horse, there's a little buzz on this horse. So.
Yeah, I'm 0 for 1 with Shug firsters on the turf as well. Mine had the lead for a while.
Yes.
It was around the 8th pole now. That was a fast-paced race, but that's another story. Well, this horse, the one full coverage, has plenty of pedigree. The Dam was a 6-time winner in the turf in 11 starts. She's produced one run horse that ran in the turf. That horse won, the Kitten's Joy. So an obviously very logical horse in this race. No surprise when this one will run. The weird horse is this Chad Brown horse. So you have second, I have fourth. A Cloud Computing that sold for $135,000 after working a somewhat pedestrian 10 2/5 of the sale. I have the 1 turf winner out of 4 to try it. Cloud Computing on the turf. It does feel like Chad Brown should have. I don't think has there been a Cloud Computing to win. I know there hasn't been one here. I don't know if there's been one somewhere else. Usually somebody texts me if there has. Shouldn't Chad Brown win with the first Cloud Computing?
You would think. It'd be nice. Apropos.
Cloud Computing won his debut at 6 furlongs on the inner. Was second in the Gotham about 20 minutes later. Third in the Wood, and then won the Preakness.
Feels good to say the inner, right?
On the inner, yeah, right. Preakness winner, another Preakness winner, the inner. Yeah, he won on the inner.
Preakness winner from the inner.
2 Preakness winners in the last 5 years, or 6 runnings, I should say, that ran in the winter at Aqueduct. But the racing there stinks in the winter, in case you're interested. It's terrible. Nobody good ever runs in the Wood. The Wood produced the Preakness and Belmont winner. Wait, we got a text. Right now, Maggie's checking in.
That's definite.
Maggie's definitely got some Cloud Computing info here. Let's see. There's been one winner, and it was shockingly on dirt.
Okay.
Thank you, Maggie.
Okay.
I don't know what to make of this, but not the kind of horse I want to take.
I'm very busy, Andy. Can we get through this?
Reckoning Force, I thought actually ran pretty well in that race, to be honest. I mean, it was 4 wide in the first turn, 3 wide in the second turn. I don't think that horse ran badly at all. It just may not have been that good a race.
Right.
That's sort of the problem with it. I took the 7, Torigo, figuring the horse would be a better price for Danny Gargan, who can have a first-time starter ready to win the turf. We've seen him do well in these turf routes before. It's a first foal, but it's some pretty decent European turf, a Munnings. So I went in a slightly different direction, though you're playing the 1 who, assuming there's a tip, will take a lot of money. And I assume there is a tip if you say there is one.
There is.
Race number 2.
Duh.
We'll take a look at the most important race in here with Mount Athos running 2nd and Cold as Hell running 4th.
I had 4 second picks scratched today.
Okay, the important info is going on. I guess that means Letty was Anthony's 2nd.
Correct.
Oh, no, Jake Rock's good.
No, it was Letty.
Okay. Anyway, with Mount Athos, you've got a horse that ran Beyer figures in the 80s in 3 of the prior 4 starts, including last race, 2nd to Mr. Sippy. I guess he's a half to Mississippi. Haha. That race looked fast, looked legitimate, and I don't really see any reason to pick against this horse because there's supposed to be pace as well. And I think the reason to maybe take the horse that you and I have 2nd, you scratched into him, I had him for 2nd, and I guess Cold as Hell, is that he's the speed in here. But, geez, I mean, there's supposed to be some honest running early, right?
There should be. Yeah, there should be. But he's the he's the speed drawn to the outside and dropping in slightly from the starter allowance company to the 3 life here at the Clayman race. So I thought he made some sense.
The cloud computing one at Delaware, by the way, for those of you that want more information on that. Yeah, I don't have anything clever to say in this race. I mean, I looked through and I just don't really know where I should go. I guess Charger's not impossible because there should be some hitting in there. I'm surprised you like the 1 and not the 1A.
Yeah,
Isn't the 1A the one you're supposed to want?
Yes.
Well, it's the closer and their
fan.
speed.
Not a fan.
Well, Letty wasn't getting anything, which is why Lindy scratched the horse. Not a fan of Charger? I don't know.
No, not really.
Seemed like a logical horse to
the
me.
hunch exactor in here, Andy. Cold as Hell and Resist the Devil.
Resist the Devil is a very funny entrant from Kevin Rice because when this horse ran in the dirt, did absolutely no running whatsoever, and yet they're shipping the horse in from Presque Isle to run here in the dirt. I mean, that horse could be like a wise guy type
This horse
horse,
actually worked last at Thistledown.
Well, I guess they wanted to get a dirt work in, right?
Yeah.
But that 38 breezing got them to ship the horse here. It's a little weird, right?
Really inspired them, yeah.
I mean, this would be like the put-over of put-overs, wouldn't it? Just a weird horse. I mean, the horse is fast enough to be competitive in here based on the synthetic.
But those two, I mean, the horse got beat 50 lengths combined in 2 dirt races.
I don't disagree. In fairness, the horse has improved recently on synthetic, and they obviously want to find out if the horse can run in dirt. But couldn't they have just left him at this? Is this still running?
Yeah. Well, Beltara. Something's running. No, one of them's running. I have no idea. I don't have an answer for you, buddy.
Resist the Devil. Weird horse. He's kind of the weirdo of the day, isn't he?
Cold as Hell and Resist the Devil.
All right, we'll move on to the moto obvious horse of the entire day, a horse that I thought was sort of clever when I first looked at the race. But now, especially with the scratch of Cadencia, Blazing Star will end up being an overwhelming favorite in this race. And she's just dropping down after running against much better horses. And given who's in this race, she now becomes a very boring pick, but a very, very likely winner, at least on paper.
Yeah, I could not agree with you
and I think, I mean, I guess she would be favored over Rigby, but Rigby does have Irad Ortiz, so maybe she'll be favored.
Races 2 and 3 really didn't have a lot of clever things or interesting things
Well,
going
for me,
on.
the scratch of Cadenzia really hurts race number 3 because I thought she would take money, and I didn't like her. In fact, I was going to try to beat her for 2nd in this race because I like No Pain as the other horse in here, and we'll discuss that horse in a minute. But Blazing Stars is a horse that they cut back last time and ended up being in a much tougher field.
Much tougher field and ran better than either of the other 2 races here in America, one in the slop and one on the turf. So cutback obviously helped. And just finding a lot of class relief in here.
I was fine before I came on the air.
It's all right.
Something about coming on the air.
I mean, Rigby makes sense.
Really?
Well, I mean, ran into abusive power last time.
So what?
Well, she was a ringer running against those horses. She got beat.
She broke about 3/4 of a length slow in her last race and was kind of hustled. It wasn't her best performance because she is a horse that's probably better forwardly placed, but losing with a perfect trip to more Mango is not something that flatters her, and she's okay, but I hope she's favored. I mean, if Blazing Star can't handle her, you would think so. If Blazing Star can't beat her, I'm going to take the back roads getting back to Saratoga where she broke her maiden. But she's probably got to deal with the speed of Train to Artemis in this race.
Right.
And even, I mean, even You Like Apples on the outside potentially has speed, right?
Little nod to Goodwill Hunting.
I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not. I thought about that. I'm not sure.
I would bet a lot.
Isn't it? No, it doesn't say because it's you like apples?
Yeah, but
nah. I thought about that, and I'm going to say no.
You like apples?
Nah.
Well, I got a number. How about them apples?
Yeah, Anthony, they've all seen it.
This is what happened.
They've all seen it.
This is what
Unlike
happened.
you, who hasn't seen Breaking Away, by the way. How have you not
You're
seen
welcome,
Breaking
by the
Away?
way.
How have you not seen Breaking Away?
It's called a segue, Andy.
Yes, Andy.
Layup.
I know what a segue is.
Right, yeah.
I went to 300 Grateful Dead shows.
I don't know how. I haven't seen Breaking Away.
As you know, Breaking Away is a great movie, and Anthony should see it, don't you think? I like No Pain for second in here. If you look at No Pain, I think this horse is running against some tougher fields. A little bit of an outside trip last time out. I don't think ran great, but didn't run badly 2 races back. I think the race 2 races back points her out. She ran well up here last year. She gets the good inside post. I'm going to make a big 3-1 with a small reverse in this race.
Okay.
That's my play here. I wish Cadenzi was playing, but I'm going to try 3-1 in this
Despite
race.
Ray Handel as the trainer?
I haven't seen Ray recently, by the way.
I see him every morning.
I haven't seen him.
But he doesn't come over and say, he's dodging us for the dinner. I mean, what do you think's happening here?
He knows where to find me.
When you duck somebody, Andy, you don't try to find
I keep
them.
assuming when I'm having dinner
He's just
that
going to
they're
show
going
up
to
and pick
say
it
to
up.
me when I ask for the check, Ray Handel took care of it.
And it's not like they don't know where we are.
Ray knows where you are.
Yeah.
As far as where I am, we don't need to discuss that. So race number 4, the Saratoga Special, Owens Leap scratched. Discuss that with Tom Amos later. Gulfport is going to be a heavy favorite. You have Gulfport on top in this race. We'll
I
take
do.
a look at his last race, and you can talk about the 1 to 5
this
shot.
horse's first 2 races have been sensational. Just off the pace and kind of just galloped home in the maiden race. And then here in the Bashford Manor, just took the bull by the horns right to the front. Galloped home. Gets Joel Rosario now. Outside draw. Even if Super Chow wants to go from the rail, he could just sit off. He proved that in his maiden race. I know Damon's Mound, who you'll talk about, ran well in his debut.
Well, Damon's Mound, we'll get to him in a second. I mean, I don't have a problem with Gulfport. I'm not quite as sold on him as everybody else is. I'm not suggesting he's not good.
I'm sold.
That figure came up extremely strong last time. I want to see him run a 91 again because I'm not sure. I'm just not. Did Owens Leap really improve 7 fire points, losing by a dozen lengths last time? I think that's a very viable question. And I kind of want to see that number backed up, or I want to see if it proves to be predictive. Because, I don't know, I just want to see it. I'm just a little skeptical of that RAS race being as good as the 91 suggests. And Damon's Mound, despite not breaking particularly well in there, as you can see here, just cruised to victory in a pretty fast race as well. In fact, a race that got a higher buyer figure than they do debut of Gulfport. You know, this is Michelle Lavelle's first starter here in Saratoga. First ever. First ever. It's what,
Wow.
I want to say Greg said that. I thought Greg might have said that to me the other day, and Greg is always up on that stuff. Another Gervin. How about these Gervins? Huh?
Joe Sharp runner.
Yeah, won the Haskell, beat Practical Joke.
Yep. Not even good so far.
Been
nice
terrific.
start to his stud career.
It's always interesting to see the first new sires because a lot of times they're ones you wouldn't predict. I don't think anybody would have said Gervin or Sharp Azteca.
Yeah, Sharp Azteca's
Funny
been
conversation about him with somebody last night, actually, at dinner, which I agreed with. I think Damon's Mount. I understand that Gulfport is a likely winner in this race, but he's got a real rival in this Damon's Mound. This horse's first race was spectacular. And, yeah, I know there are less Herald connections, and Steve Asmussen has shown that he knows how to get these horses to win these big races. And obviously, I mean, Michelle, I'm sure, would say, I haven't done what Steve Asmussen's done,
Right.
but this horse looked pretty darn good. And I always have just a special affinity when there's a trainer that's a little more on the radar. And, Michelle Lavelle is the one who claimed, I want to say, fault a horse that was owned by a friend of mine and ended up winning grade ones with, won a grade one. I think the horse won a grade one, though, for Phil D'Amato. Yeah, I think the horse has gone to California. But she won the pucker up like 2 starts after getting claimed for $50,000. So she knows what she's doing, for sure. I think this is a real matchup here.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I wonder if it'll be 4-5, 7-5. I wonder if it'll be closer to 2-5 and 2-1.
I believe it'll be closer to 2-5, 2-1.
Yeah, I think so. Interesting race, though. We'll see what happens in the Saratoga Special. Should we break after 5, by the way? We didn't discuss that in the...
Oh, by the way, the Saratoga Special starts the mandatory payout in the pick 5. There will be a ticket put up right after Talking Horses is over for both the mandatory and the late pick 5s today. I mean, if that didn't make your day brighter and shinier,
are you kidding me?
I don't know what will.
People weeping with joy right now.
Somebody just fainted. So excited. Oh, he's okay. Never mind.
By the way, nobody fainted. He's
picking up a pen.
He's kidding. I
picking up
want
his
to make
pen.
sure you realize that
Yes.
nobody fainted. I mean, somebody somewhere fainted, but probably not from watching Talking Horses. So race.
You don't think so?
Race number 5. Okay. Forgetting about your top selection in this race, which we'll get to. I'm going to show Captain's Daughter running second in the Bowery 3 races back. You're going to have to explain to me how Captain's Daughter didn't make your top 4 in this race. You don't think she's the horse to beat it here?
No, I don't think she's the horse to beat. Absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah.
Because?
I don't know.
I mean, I really should pick the 3, so obviously you and I have a very, very different opinion on this race, but she's run against a lot better horses in her races. You don't think cutting back for 1 1/8 helps her? I mean, I understand there isn't a ton of pace in this race. I get all that. She's run sort of the best race of anybody in here, hasn't she? You don't have her in the top 4?
No, I don't like her.
Why don't you like her?
I don't like her today.
Why don't you like her?
because
We're
I
on a
don't-
Y
I-
show. This is a Y show.
I don't know whose what edict that is. I don't know what I'm supposed to like about her, Andy. Barn hasn't won. Barn is winless on the season.
Okay.
She kind of just. I mean, she just kind of like picks up pieces. She runs the same race she runs in the Bowery as she does in.
She runs the same race
But
she
yeah,
ran in
but
the
then-
Bowery. She's highly likely to be first or second in this race. Now, I'm not saying she's going to win, and I picked her second, but I think she's a very tough horse to leave out of the top 4. But please, let me know what you think. Like, I mean, I think the race is between the 1, 2, 5, and 8, and obviously I picked the 8 second. What did I miss about Know It All Audrey?
Well, the Rob Atras barn's starting to heat up a little bit, and I don't care who they're taking this horse from, but this barn, the Toscano barn, and the Atras barn, they've actually had success claiming horses from each other. Now, this is a trainer switch, and the one thing that was always curious to me, especially in the last 5 starts, is this filly continued to race without Lasix. And she goes to the Atras barn. She gets Lasix off that last effort, which was probably more affected. The pace duel was probably more affected than anything else. I don't know if she bled or not, but she gets the Lasix for the first time. She gets a switch to a barn and Rob Atras, who's starting to heat up.
Well, they had 2 wins the
I
other day.
don't trust the rest of them. She's going to be a decent enough
Well,
price.
she's
I
IRT,
would think.
so she's going to be 2 points lower than she should be. She has 1 race that gives her a chance. The race 2 back, and she was wide that day, and the rail was the place to be. So I will say, in isolation, if you take her race 2 back, that race absolutely gives her a chance. So somewhere in there, there's a race to win. Every other race she's ever run gives her less chance to win this race than you and I in a horse suit. Now, the race 2 back happened, and I get it. She's moving to a barn that wins at a high percentage, that hadn't been winning, and 2 days ago did win 2 races, so I get it. You're trying to get ahead of the curve on a barn that can win at a very high percentage and improve horses and run races that don't necessarily appear in the PPs at times. Having said that, okay. I mean, I don't know what to say. Okay. I mean, the horse is 4-1 morning line. I think this horse is a 4-1 shot?
I think when you consider the trainer change and the rider switch, yes. I do.
I mean, I'm assuming what you're really saying is it's Eric can't sell off.
That's part of it.
Okay.
But I mean, going to Rob Atras and getting Lasix, I would think both of those things are going to help.
So why didn't the Toscanos run her on Lasix?
I don't know.
They're pretty sharp.
I don't know.
I don't think they forgot.
I don't have an answer for you.
Okay. Good luck.
I just know when I went through the field, I don't
okay.
trust any of the other ones.
Okay, that's fine. Listen, she's got a race 2 back that gives her a chance. I think at 4-1 she's ridiculous, but I mean, if she was 10 to 1, I get it. But 4 to 1 seems like a tough price to take. But listen, maybe she'll be higher. I'm sure you'll have company. Toscanova Beauty's a funny horse because she is the controlling speed on the inside. As we know from her last race at Finger Lakes, she's obviously in really good form. She's just a.
She's improved with every start.
No, I agree. I mean, and she didn't even run that. We can show the race, right, of Toscanova Beauty. Since the race at Aqueduct, which wasn't even that bad, frankly. I mean, that's the one thing about her is she does have that race at Aqueduct that really isn't bad. I mean, that was late in her 2-year-old season, and she couldn't make the lead, and she's improved since then. It's just, I don't know, these Finger Lakes horses coming here. She's got a total moto look here, but are you going to really be surprised when she wires the field?
That was the only time she lost on a fast track, was the Aqueduct race. Now, I know the other races are at Finger Lakes. I get that. But, you know, if you take apart her form, 2 losses on sloppy tracks, the loss at Aqueduct and 4 wins, she's the controlling speed from the rail.
The wet track matters, but okay.
I'm sorry?
I don't know what the wet track means, but
No,
I mean,
I'm just saying, if you take apart her form, the only time she lost on a fast track was at Aqueduct.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's very dangerous to wire the field. I could have her higher. I mean, Sweet Mystery's the last time was the time horse. I'm not really against her, and she ran fine last time. The second horse came back and ran virtually the same figure, 1 lower buyer point lower. But I just feel like you got 8 to 1 on her last time in that field, and she's the morning line favorite here. As far as Early Edition, you know, Early Edition is a horse that really confused me when I first looked at her because I had sort of forgotten about her form at Aqueduct after that maiden win. She's a horse in her, you know, her 6th start or something, ran this sort of remarkably fast race at Parks. And I remember you and I talking about this race on New Year's Day because normally you see a 22-length winner and a 71 buyer for a horse that couldn't get out of her own way, and your reaction is it was a fluke. It wasn't. It was a very, 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 it was in fact a figure that could have been higher, could have been 10 points higher. And then you start looking at it and you say, well, she ran 3 straight races in turf routes. Maybe she just never got a chance to be the horse that she is. And she came back with a terrific performance, went second in her next start against the track, fighting on the outside. And things kind of went a little awry. But then last time, she had trouble in that trip. That was on Haskell Day when speed did very well. She had trouble going long, significant trouble early in the race, and she didn't run that badly, all things considered. She gets a cutback, which she may prefer, and what's interesting about her is she seems to have lost the speed, except part of the problem was the trouble early last time, and I'm not sure she can't be a little more forwarded here. And the
that
more
would help her cause.
Oh, obviously. The more I looked at her, the more I thought, you know, I know she's 1 for 13, but it's a mitigated 1 for 13 because her first 6 starts don't count, kind of. You know what I mean? And she's a lot better than she looks. And I don't think she's going to be.
Number 1.
I don't think she's going to be 5 to 1 in here. I think she's going to be better than 5 to 1. There's nothing sexy about her at all in this race.
Right.
You got a speed on the inside that's the lone speed.
Yeah,
you got Irad on
you'd
the
have
3
to
with a
imagine
trainer
there's
chain.
separation
You got the
between
2 of the
the
maiden
3
win,
and the
the
5.
8 stakes faced. Is she really going to be that close to them?
No, probably
Now,
not.
maybe she is. I picked her. David picked her. But I thought she's the least sexy of any of them. And you start to take her form apart, and she's really not that bad. So I took a shot with her. See what happens. We have slightly different opinions here. I do think you're insane about Captain's Daughter, but we'll see how it plays out because there are horses you leave out that I question that win, and there's some that you are dead right about.
What are we at?
101. You lost you won the 3, and I won the 1.
So let's 3 versus 8.
No, because I understand your argument for the 3. I don't like the 3, but I don't think there's not a compelling there's a reasonable argument. That's not a horse I want to bet on.
I'll take a 1 lunch bet, 3 versus 8.
Okay. Okay. For you, pal, I'll do anything.
You don't have her on the board, and I don't have yours on the board.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That makes sense. 101. 1. I got 8 over 3. That's fair. All right.
Take a break?
I think we should. Do you think we should take a break?
I do.
I'd ask Kaka, but he's very
Pick
deep
6
in
coming
conversation. Colleen, by the way, the clock on Colleen is going down. She's got 3 more days here, 2 more.
You know who else is leaving?
Who?
Claudia's leaving. So she's not going to be able to corroborate your opinions on me. John Anthony, otherwise known as Petey Pablo's getting out of here as well. Sad to see all of our college kids fly to Coop.
You know, college starting in mid September. We'll get to that later. We'll be back with the pick 6.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
We're back, Anthony and Andy, talking horses. Beautiful Saturday here at Saratoga.
It is.
Fourstardave, you haven't spent as much time in Saratoga as I have.
No, I'm not.
I think
You're a
Fourstardave,
resident.
to me, one of the well, even there were a lot of meets you just didn't come up
Yeah,
very
didn't
much,
come
or
up.
if at all. But
Boycott.
is that he's a real testament to what can happen if a horse has real longevity. You know, the fact that he showed up here year after year and won. He was really a very popular horse. I think in some ways I didn't appreciate as much as I should have when he was running.
I think that's probably the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it's cool that 2 of the 3 favorites in the race today are 6-year-olds.
There you have it.
So I think it just goes to show you if you let these horses
And
develop and mature.
the 2 people up here frequently act like we're 6 years
6-year-olds,
old.
yeah.
So all of it's
We
working.
can relate.
Race number 6 is a weird race.
Very strange. This was a tough race.
And the scratch of Sheriff Bianco takes out a horse that I didn't particularly like, that was going to take a lot of money, and it takes some of the pleasure out of the race for me because Neuro
You're
is.
still going to have plenty of fun, Andy. It'll be fine.
I have fun all day, every day, up here with my friends, with Greg and Richie early, and Maggie in the paddock. So looking for a lot of fun. Had a nice lunch with Maggie yesterday. We had some good laughs.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great, actually. It's tough. You don't get that many opportunities to spend time with the people you work with outside of work. Or non-working things. So Neuro's the horse to beat. I don't think you'll disagree with that. You have him second, I have him third. We'll take a look. The problem I have with Neuro is he's 1 for 19 with 5 seconds. I bet him last time at almost 4-1, and he ran well enough to win. He probably got a little unlucky earlier. He might have won, but you say that, and he's 1 for 19.
You just keep making
How many
excuses
times
for
can you
him.
say,
Yeah.
you know, he should have won this race, he was best in here, he whatever. And, I mean, part of the problem is he's a deep closer who's a turf sprinter, and they, you know, are tough horses to get home, even in logical spots. But, I don't know, he's the horse to beat, but I ain't picking him on top.
No shot. No. This is a horse you and I are very, very rarely picking on.
I picked him last time.
I know you did.
But I probably picked, well, you know I have picked him. But
Of course I have.
I've
Of course
been,
you did.
no, since you made fun of me, have I not been? I think he was the first one I picked in a long time. Is that true? Isn't that true?
Yes.
People think I don't listen to Anthony. I do listen to Anthony.
You flipped out that day.
So you were actually right.
No.
Now,
I know.
the problem also in this race, and I have the horse second, you have him third, is what do you do with Golden Hornet? Because he feels like a horse that you either need a strong opinion on, one way or the other. It's very strange that he broke his maiden at Colonial on the dirt, a track that runs 90% of their races on the turf. Or
And it wasn't an
80%.
off-the-turf race.
No.
It was an intended dirt
And
race.
then, a handful of days later, 25 days later, he shows up off of that win as a flatter on the turf. What do you make of it?
The whole thing makes very little sense.
Well, what do you make of his pedigree?
I mean, he's out of a more than ready mare.
Okay, you didn't look it up. This horse is a foal to a horse named Fled. And Fled, a flatter.
Fled was
And
a flatter?
Flatter as good as, yeah.
Wow.
As good as Flatter was as a sire, and we lost Flatter. He was a terrific sire, stood at Claiborne, our good friends at Claiborne. He's not a turf sire. He's a negative turf sire for the most part. But Fled, who some might remember him coming up here
Right,
off a
well,
maiden win.
twice, right?
And just crushing a field from the clouds. And I don't think that's lost on Larry Ravelli, obviously. His horse is a full to Fled. And another turf winner as well. It's just a strange move, but isn't this horse, I mean, I know that turf, I'm the guy who started it, turf and dirt sprint speed can don't always work. How is this guy, if he breaks, not in
There's a
front?
lot of things that are weird about this because if you thought this horse was going to run as well as he did, why wasn't he up here in a special weight race for 30,000 more? And now he winds up here on the grass, There's just a lot of weird. He's not a fresh gelding, by the way. He was a gelding first time.
Yeah,
we corrected that.
Crap annoys me. No way.
He gets Ricardo Santana. There's some speed in here, but this horse is fast.
No, this horse is fast.
This horse is fast.
I don't know who's supposed to keep
And
up
I
with
don't
him.
know. I say this all the time, and I probably can find a better way to put it. Going 5.5 on a turf, if you're this fast, you can fake it.
No, but he's quick.
He's fast.
This horse is quick. And
So,
I
and he's being ridden by a guy, and I know people talk about, how guys ride the turf and this. For my money, in sprint races, regardless of surface, there are very few sprint riders better in this country than Ricardo Santana Jr.
I think some people have forgotten what a good rider he is. And obviously he's not riding the Asmussen horses the way he has in years past.
Right.
But
It's hard to lose a calling card like that.
People don't think that Ricardo Santana is one of the better riders in the country. They're just not paying attention. No. That's not to say he may be the 8th best rider here. The 8th best rider here, and I'm not saying he's 10th or 8th or 7th or 6th, is a great rider. There are, it's ridiculous. I mean, look at Jose Lezcano, who won 3 races yesterday. You almost forgot that Jose was here until he won those races, and Jose's a tremendous rider.
There's no fewer than 8 guys here.
Oh, more.
That would be the leading rider on the other coast right now.
That's fair. It could be. Could be.
Could be.
It's an embarrassment of riches in that room. So, is 2 down for you just a Eric Cancel off pick?
Partially. Tom Worley does a good job claiming horses. It's kind of hard to take horses from Tom. This horse actually held his form.
What are the numbers claimed from Tom?
No, I don't have. I don't have numbers, but I mean.
Well, you need to have numbers.
No, you don't need to have numbers. If you're doing this every day, you should know what's going on.
That's not true, Anthony.
Okay.
You need to have numbers. I'm
right.
sorry.
In any
you
event,
need to have numbers to back it up because otherwise it's not true.
In any event, no, it can be
You
true.
can look it up.
Just
It
not
takes 2
proof.
seconds.
In any event,
it takes 2 seconds to go on Formulator to look it up. Just look it up.
What's that?
I don't know.
He maintained his form.
It's not acceptable.
I don't know what that is.
So
they were answering us.
Talking about the 10 horse, and there's only 9 in here. So
they were answering us.
Well, we've been known to do that before.
I thought I was hearing things. I mean, I hear things all the time and have conversations with myself.
Go ahead.
The horse kind of maintained his form. I don't know.
It's not very good.
With Louis, you would imagine there's going to be a little bit more.
This horse has no speed.
Well,
I understand.
We're going to find out today, my friend.
Never forward. Well, I don't know about that, but I don't know what to say. My problem is it's a trainer that horses just aren't running. They're just not running.
He's going to be a square enough price to find out. And race work, just quite frankly.
I hear you. Got him forward.
And you got Neuro. Your horse is a little clever.
Well,
no. We don't know about Golden Hornet.
The problem with my horse is it's the antithesis of why you pick this horse. I don't want to beat up on Eric. Eric's given some good rides to the meet. I'm critical of Eric because I think he's a talented rider who doesn't ride to his talent as often as he should. And his last ride is probably a fair example of that because he spent the entire race essentially after breaking okay, just losing position. You cannot win turf sprints. And we run a plethora of them here by losing position. This is a horse who in the past, Eric's had no trouble being forward.
A couple lengths off the lead, yeah.
And suddenly he's not holding position. And his last race, he literally spent the first 2/3 of the race dropping back and losing position. You've got to find a way to maintain your position. And he didn't run that badly in that race, and he was off the rail, and the rails were down, and being off the rail was a problem. So he was against the track in that regard. He was against the flow of the race because it was a forward race, and he lost position. Now the problem is he may be in another race where that's a detriment. But watching his last race, looking at his price, having no idea who to pick in this race, I'm going to give him a chance.
You know what the funny thing is, too? The races that have faster opening quarters on his card are the ones he's closer. So the last race made very little sense.
Look at the Fast and Furious race 3 back, right? He's got to maintain that position.
My question now is this. If Golden Hornet is as fast as he appears on paper and we think he is, don't all the speed horses kind of lose their position? I mean, they're just gonna be run off their feet, aren't they? That's what that's what I really worry about. I thought about putting Golden Hornet on top.
Well, but your horse has the same dilemma that mine does. So I hear you. Listen, I get it. On the other hand, what if Golden Hornet isn't a speed? listen, we spent enough time in this race. I mean, we could spend an hour in
weird
this race.
race.
I get it. And it's hard. So I'm going to go back to the Gulfport fig. So Andy Byer texted me, and he said that he says the figure's solid. He's totally, and I'm not. I want to see it. I don't know. I want to see it repeated, and he's probably right. And I'm sure he's right. I mean, he says, you know, the figure's rock solid. The figure's rock solid. Okay, I'm gonna see it again.
I think I just got stung on set.
Really?
Yeah.
Second person to get stung on set. You think the bees are mad at me, but they're afraid of me? And really, you all right?
I'm fine.
Okay.
You think they're afraid of
I
you
want to know
and not me?
Mig got stung on set too.
Good. Well,
I'm going to tell you right now, if I get stung on set, I'm not taking it the way you did. I'm just getting that out there right now.
what are you going down?
It'll be a
You're
problem.
going to pull a LeBron and just flop? You're going to flop down? All right.
I like LeBron. No knocking LeBron in my presence. I'm a big LeBron fan. But thank you, Andy, for that about the fig. We'll see how it goes. All right. But the fig stands. The fig stands alone. Andy Byer, by the way, will be making his annual appearance this year. He'll be here on. He'll be on the show on the final Saturday. He hasn't been since before the pandemic.
Wonderful. So I'm off.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I know. I'm off Wednesday. You're off Wednesday too. I didn't
Yeah.
have to do the work for the show. It gave me like 3 extra hours of free time last night, which
go.
I made use spending with my good friend Naja Thompson.
Well, I'd rather do the work.
No, you wouldn't. Really?
No, kidding. I just like to break chops.
Actually, it's the first time I've spent a lot of time with Naja. I think all meet. I mean,
You
I
think
see him
he's
over
looking
here.
forward to it?
Let me tell you something. I'm Naja's first friend at Naira, so you can never take that away from me. I knew him when he was nothing, and now he's doing stories, the
Wow.
paper. He's like a big star.
He's unbelievable.
Race number 7.
You made it, Naj. Congratulations, buddy.
That's right. He's a great man. Race number 7. 1 ran, 9 did not. Bourbon Bash lost to a promising Chad Brown firster named Blazing Sevens. Ran okay in there, gets the rail, going to go. But I'm just feeling like there's probably others better. But like usual, I put the horse third.
Me too. Me too. I think he also has the benefit. I really don't want to beat up on this horse too badly for the simple fact that not only did he show speed, but he's been the 6th. So not only is he the only one with experience, but he has the experience at the trip. And I know that sounds ridiculous when you say, oh, well, a lot of the races are at 5.5. At this point in their careers and in their lives, that's a big 16th of a mile. So I think he's a horse, late pick 5 starts here. Certainly a horse you must include.
You have the 10, Mr. McGregor on top.
I do.
Is he a friend of yours, Mr.
He's
McGregor?
not. He's not.
Homebred for Bill Mott. What's the story? Is there a tip?
I don't have a story. I love the 2 gate works, 3 and 4 back, a couple of maintenance breezes after that.
You love the Bill
Wonderful
Mott wins
pedigree.
with a male first-time starting 2-year-old once every time Haley's Comet appears.
This horse.
Are we never going to see Haley's Comet again, you and I? I don't think so.
Was it 86? Was it the Mets World Series? I think people made jokes about
the
that.
Mets will win.
86,
They
I
lost
was
last night. In
86, I was 9. I'd like to think I'm getting to 81. I mean, I'm not running.
I thought
for
it was
my
87 years, 72 years.
70. I thought it was 72.
I don't think so.
I'm not making 87, but I
I'm
mean, I
looking
think
it
I could eke out 81.
So 81's good, but 87's not happening.
Yeah,
Wow, you really narrowed the window down.
No, you said 72 or 87. That's 15.
Oh, I
You think
see.
I'm
You're
getting to
not
96? Buddy, I ain't getting to 96.
I think it's longer. Haley's Comet. Let's look that up.
If I get to 96.
Okay. By the way, in case you guys are wondering, Anthony loves Bill Mott. Haley's Comet. Haley's Comet. You're right. 75 to 79 years. No, you were a little. You were
so
close.
it's kind of in between us.
Yeah, you're.
So am I getting to 86? I don't know.
Do we have a poll?
That's a resounding no.
Okay. The 5 Skellig. Let's take a look at his sales work.
I haven't seen this yet.
My favorite horrendous Twitter troll, who's a man who pretends to be a woman on Twitter, gets very angry when I show 2-year-old sales works. Because it's really bad to give more information to the public. I'm ashamed of myself. This horse worked fast, and subsequent to my picking this horse, I've heard this horse, in fact, is fast.
Ooh.
Well, David told me from watching the workouts.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I can say tip. I'm more of David's
No, it's not
opinion,
a
which
tip.
I respect a great deal. And I'm going to believe him. And I like Skellig.
Half
we know
the
what
Tiger
Skellig-
Blood,
another
a 19 times
Gervin.
winner.
on turf.
19. No.
Turf sprinter, right?
10
turf enter. Turf enter, right?
Yeah. 10
really?
and 9. Almost
Cool
an even
horse.
split.
She was running here on
versatile
Wednesday.
horse.
Greeley's Ben. That horse that's like wins every time.
Really?
Running for 16,000. They're already lining up at the racing office to
Wow.
claim the horse. So I'm going to take Skellig, who we have second in this
second.
race.
I didn't hear anything, but
So I've got General Jim, the one of the two Shugs. And interestingly enough, the one with the pedigree is the 11. Are you aware the 11's a have to?
among others, Benner Island, High North, and Victim of Love.
There's
along
the
with
Victim of Love, who's a very, very good horse. And there's 4 foals that were very good from the dam. But why would I prefer the 7 to the 11, Anthony?
because the 7 was preferred into the field. Yes! Yes!
Gold star for the big A today.
Boom!
Though I'm going to tell you something. We need to make sure that's the case.
Aaron Yagoda told me there's no more preference.
Right. So it might not be the case.
But I don't.
But the question was,
Aaron's
no,
owner, so.
No, mate, but was it the case when this race was drawn? We got to clarify that. I think that's an important point of clarification.
I agree.
So people know there was a rule where if one trainer entered 2 horses for different owners, they had to say which one they preferred in case the race oversubscribed. And then, so the AE one would obviously be the one that they preferred second. However, that rule, you're saying, may not.
Aaron told me that we got rid of it, but. So if Aaron,
I
if
miss
you're
Aaron.
listening,
I haven't
text
seen
us,
enough
please.
of Aaron this week.
Saw him this morning, maybe?
I haven't seen him if he's done. Oh, he's back.
At breakfast? Was that this morning?
He's
or
got to be
yesterday?
on the list of,
I don't know.
short list of great, best people in racing, right?
On a very short list.
Right.
Yes.
I've known Aaron a long time.
Whole life.
You know, wonderful, wonderful guy. Owns horses, of course. All right, what else? You know who David told me works well? The horse that we both have fourth.
Oh,
Dale
yeah?
Roman's horse. Read On.
Okay.
Dale with a nice win the other day. It's like a fun race. I think there may be some good 2-year-olds this weekend.
I hope so.
Today and tomorrow. Yeah, we really haven't. I guess Prank is really the one wow horse, right? By the way, we got 15 minutes left.
Prank was easily the most impressive. Yeah, let's get cooking.
Yeah, we got 15 minutes left. Race number 8. We'll take a look at Portfolio Company losing at Monmouth. And I'm going to say something about Portfolio Company in this race to make him even stronger because he's a heavy favorite, obviously, and drew well on the rail. He was outside this day, and the rail was very fresh ground down the inside. I mean, even the rails are out, it was still good ground, and never saw the inside. I thought he ran very well in here, fast pace. I'm still annoyed I didn't take 10-1 in Fort Washington, but that's another story. Right? You and I both slept on that. Right?
Idiots.
I know.
We said it at the same time.
I know. Two idiots, right? I'm going to say, by the way, I'm mad at myself about something. He's a very likely winner. I slept on that Butch Reed horse that won yesterday.
Please.
I'm not saying I should have picked him.
I should have
but
picked
that
5.
horse after the race, I apologize for that.
That's the red board of the meet.
No, I'm not red boarding. I pride myself on always looking at every horse, and even if a horse wins that I didn't like, understanding it. I underworked that horse. I realized my PPs were blank.
You take apart his 2-turn races especially. He's got to be used in that race.
Yeah,
Please, I wanted to puke.
Second off a layoff.
I think the pick 5 paid $1,400. I was lucky 3 horses.
I apologize on that horse. Not saying I would have picked him. I'm just saying I didn't study him enough.
Absolutely. I agree. We both slept that horse.
You have Carpe's Dream second, and I don't disagree with you. This horse ran well last time.
He ran giant last time.
Yeah.
First time Lasix, first time stretching out. Now
Towards
he's
the inside, not right in the rail, but,
Now he's third off the layoff.
And by the way, I think we saw a good example of that inside, that dead rail situation yesterday with those horses running.
You were 100% right. Yep.
I agree. This is a tip horse we had early. We heard before he ran, he got scratched before his debut.
And listen, I think I don't want to speak for you. If Portfolio Company shows up,
if he doesn't win this race, if he doesn't win here, then he just isn't very good.
He's drawn in size. I mean, he has everything going for him.
He's not the speed, but he should get good position behind them.
I mean, he's kind of a lean here. He's got to be a little bit of a lean in both of the pick 5s. He's in both.
Constitu's your lawyer. You have third. I have second. David was right about him. Aragona had told me all along he's a turf horse. He ran okay, but they're outposted. And somebody else wins. I mean, Capote's the wild card, right?
Yes.
Capone, excuse me.
Capone. Yeah.
I think Al Capone would have a problem being called Capote. Let's move on to race number 9. Race number 9, by the way.
Number 9?
Has one of those looks of a wild, older maiden race, right?
Yes.
I've heard the 1 has been working very, very well. Let me say something else with the 1. If you know there's a Klarovich first-time starter in here, wouldn't you have guessed it was unlimited potential? And I think if you knew there was a Rapoli firster, you might have guessed it was leading contender, right?
They should trade names before
really
the race.
Funny, right?
Yes.
Yeah. really interesting.
I included both of them. You don't have the Klarovich runner, but I included both of them.
I
in
have
the
the
top.
worst fifth. I don't know anything about the. I mean, I really don't. I just don't. But I have a stat. I think for Todd. Did I put it up for Todd? The Todd stat with first
There it is.
3-year-olds.
That's a nice number.
That's a pretty strong number, huh?
That's a really strong number.
Right?
And that's a Naira number, so it's not even
Right,
like
that's
the
what I'm
Gulfstream
saying. Well,
Park.
because people look and they say, think of how many
That's a
first-time
giant
starting
number.
3-year-olds he wins early in the year at Gulfstream. And I looked up this number thinking, I wonder if Todd is a really
You include
dichotomous.
the takeout. It's almost like a $2.50 ROI.
You think about, first of all, if you knew Todd Pletcher won with 30% of those horses, you'd probably say the ROI is $1.60 because they all take a ton of money.
No question about it.
So he's winning with horses
Yep.
that, and unlimited potential. Well, we'll get to that. Let's show Happy Bob because
This horse ran giant first time.
this horse also was bet off the board.
Bet
this
off
race
the
for
board.
Dominic to be 6-1, and lost to a Creative who ran huge in there, finishing second in the Amsterdam. I'm going to take a shot with Southern Flag in here. And I have nothing against Happy Bob, who I have fourth, because he was good enough to win this race last year, despite having some greenness issues and being the architect of his own demise. He did not run particularly well chasing the pace in this race. But I feel as though he is going to get totally lost in here between the firsters and his last race.
He's
and maybe
10 to 1.
Maybe
He's
he
10 to
can't
1.
run anymore. Maybe his last race indicative. But Bill doesn't drop him second time out. And,
he's all of 10 to 1
I
again.
want to give this guy one more chance because I feel like he's going to be some value in
The
this
entry,
race.
2 Chads, Shug's horse kind of showed a little light. Yeah, I mean, Happy Bob. You imagine all of these horses are going to be shorter prices.
I want to show an Unlimited Potential's 2-year-old work just because I know this will annoy my favorite stalker, who never misses a word I say, by the way. Another famous stalker who constantly never misses. I love that. I love that account. It's the greatest.
Who's this now?
Unlimited Potential.
Okay.
This is the 2-year-old work. Now, this is a 2-year-old work a year ago. And by the way, for those that are confused, no, I don't think this is particularly relevant. But I just think
this drives me crazy. The 2-year-old workouts are fine. This drives me a little nuts.
Oh, no, I don't. I'm not. I'm just showing it as a point of conversation. And in fact, if anything, you would think it's kind of a negative. Horse worked really well as a 2-year-old and is now taking over a year to get back.
Of course.
It's just more information. I'm not suggesting that you want to bet this horse because the horse worked fast 15 months ago. You may not want to bet it because the horse worked fast 3 months ago.
Horse was also down at Churchill, which is a little interesting.
But David said watch this horse's workouts. This horses can run. And
I didn't see any of the works, obviously, but I'll tell you what. You don't see the Wayne Lucas firsters have a work tab like the 8th final approach. This horse has bullets all over the place.
Oh, I hear this horse is fast.
Yeah.
You know he's a have to? Daddy Longlegs.
Yeah, that's the other do is it's Air Force Blue. It's right.
Yeah. But I heard the horse is fast.
Yeah.
Horse is fast works. I agree.
Paid a lot of money. Paid a lot of money for him
My problem with
too.
the horse you picked on top is it a half to Good Magic's not a. Is he a full? No, Good Magic's not.
He's a full.
It's a full.
You might be right.
How confident are we this horse is good?
Andy, I'm going to tell you this. Okay, this is the eye kind of thing. You say whatever you want. This horse did not handle that racetrack.
I don't agree, but okay.
He was 2 to 1. He's going to be a
he
short
broke
price
slow.
again.
He was sort of shuffled back. I get it.
Anything to do with that muddy track last time? Nothing.
No, he's a first-time star in the mud. Nothing that doesn't surprise me. I'm not going to be surprised when he wins this race, but don't you feel like he's going to be overbet
Yeah,
here?
maybe.
But he's got Chad Brown in the pedigree, and he got bet. But you know what? They liked him first time.
They liked him first time, and now you know what? He was 2 to 1 first time. He'll probably be double that today.
Your man's
Phil's here. Tomorrow's his birthday, not today.
Day before the birthday, Phil?
Last day of
I got 10,000 in cash waiting for you for your birthday. Yeah, it's in a safe. It's in a safe somewhere. I can't reveal the location, but I'm giving you a treasure map for it.
It's gonna be like
Four-star
Speaking
Dave.
of Capone, it's gonna be Al Capone's
Yeah,
vault.
they're gonna go in. There'll be nothing.
You'll find 3 pieces of bubble gum in there.
Right. $10,000 in Monopoly money. The Fourstardave coming up, and let's talk about Regal Glory. Is there a cooler horse running in the game right now? And once again, Peter Brandt, who kept my sister Charlie in training, and she didn't run well in this, but it was better for the game. They were ready to retire this filly, and Peter said, "Let's keep her running." And I mean, she's such a push-button horse. And the thing I love about her is, if you look at that race at Gulfstream, whose name I refuse to say, and you look at the De La Rose, she has won races, and I understand they were against inferior competition, but with dynamics dramatically against her. Slow paces, wide trips.
She's versatile.
She wins under any circumstance. She is such a cool horse, and I just think she's terrific. She's going to be sitting in a good spot in here, and I'm not picking against her. You're trying to beat her. I'm sure you're not against her, but
No, of course not.
I mean,
I'll use both.
I can't say enough. I just love this horse.
I'll use both of them. She's amazing.
And
listen,
you think of Paul Pompa when she runs, and it's just, I mean, it's just,
by the
she's
way,
everything good about the game.
Didn't mean to dismiss our old friend from Run the Fed. 3 6-year-olds in the Fourstardave. So,
you know how much I have
2
for
full
front
horses,
run.
by the way, too. They're full horses. So this is good to see horses staying in training.
As opposed to the 2 guys up here.
Relax, pal. I'm fine.
Yeah, I know. He's fine. Anthony's fine, by the way. In case you want to know, Anthony's
He's fine, too.
I didn't want to imply anything that
I'm
nobody
good.
believed in the first place, but Anthony's fine just in case you were
Just
worried.
in case everybody was worried.
You know,
I'm going back to my boy. I mean,
we'll get to him.
Okay. Where are we going next?
Let's stay on the Chad Brown
We're
thing
going to
for a
Mason?
minute. Yeah. I'm not a big Mason fan.
Andy, this horse, he's tailed off.
I feel as though, even though he's won his subsequent 2 starts, I feel like the best race he ran was his first start.
No,
because,
it's not even close.
I mean, I'm going
ran
to say
against
the public sector may have run as well, if not better than he did. The public sector has run okay,
he did
but
not
a little
run well the other day.
Maybe it was 3 weeks. Maybe he came back too soon, but he was. But even his race, and City Man should be in this race, by the way. I'm annoyed that he's not in here. He won the prep, his best race ever. He's a whole horse, too, and should be in this race.
This horse has clearly tailed off since getting here, since running in April. Clearly.
I agree.
And now.
But tactically, he's well placed.
Right, he's going to be sitting behind
supposed
Get Smoking.
But he's supposed to be forward. He's supposed to Get Storm and run. He's supposed to make Get
Is he
Storm
fast
Smoking.
enough?
Yes. He's supposed to use his speed. They're all fast enough.
Get Smoking's
and one
fast,
but one of the
Andy.
things that Flavien Prat is great at is being aggressive out of the gate and making horses run to be forward. And they can't just concede the lead to Get Smoking because he could be dangerous. Get Smoking's got some pretty darn good races.
The way Javier's been riding, he's not going to take any prisoners.
But you've got to make him run to the first turn. I'm not saying you go 22. I'm not saying you get into a duel. But you've got to make him go forward and then sit behind him. You've just got to give him. You can't just concede at the start, Anthony.
I don't disagree.
So I do think he's going to be forward in here, and I think he's supposed to be. Casa Creed will show his Japer, and you can give your speech because you picked him because you love Lee Einstein.
I do. I mean, I
know
love
that's
Lee
why you
Einstein.
picked
That's not why
Just
I
admit
picked
it.
him. I picked him because of the rider change this year to Louis Saez. This horse has been getting involved a little earlier in the game. I think it's been important. This horse got a horrendous ride last year. He got beat just 2 lengths to Got Stormy. I think he's going to have to wait on Regal Glory. Now, this isn't something. He's not in an enviable position. He's got to let Regal Glory make first run, and he's got to get her because he likes the target.
Ran okay in this race last year, and
yes,
he wasn't on the inside. He was too wide in the first
turn. He did not get a good rider trip last year.
No. Well, I'm not sure what Junior could have done, to be fair. By the way, to be fair to Junior, Junior gave this horse a great ride in the Japer last year.
I didn't say he didn't.
No, but I don't think it's quite fair to suggest.
The ride in the Fourstardave was suspect. It was not a good ride.
What was he supposed to do?
Well, he was supposed to try and save some ground from the 4-hole. He could have. Listen, forget it.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think Junior did anything wrong. I just don't think. I think it was a victim of circumstance.
I think Louis fits this horse a lot better. I think this horse is woken up under Louis. I think he's gonna have to
under
run.
Louis. He won it 4-1 last time. He got a great ride by Louis last time. But I think you're being unfair to Junior. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Whatever.
I think you're being unfair to Junior. I don't think Junior. You know, he got unlucky in that race at Kentucky Downs. I don't know what he was supposed to do in there. I'm going to disagree. I think you're being unfair.
All right, that's.
I mean, I can say that Louis ridden him well, but I don't think that's fair.
Okay, I hated the ride last year in this race.
I could watch it again and say I don't know what I was supposed to do. I do respect this horse, and you know that I have as much love for Lee as anybody, and would love to see him win this race.
I would love to see him just get the run on her late. I think it's
we're going to get to the 11th race,
Go ahead.
and you're going to defend an indefensible selection.
Why is this indefensible?
Defend it.
Who do you want in here? You're going to tell me that.
What do you like about this horse? Who was 5-1 from Chad Brown in his debut at Meadowlands. What do you like about this horse?
Gelding, Lasix. He's going to be 10-1.
No, he's not.
Sure, he is.
No, he's not.
What do you think he's going to be?
He should be 1,000-1. Did you watch his race? I guarantee you didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch it.
I guarantee you didn't watch it. This horse cannot run at all.
Okay. Well, I'm going to.
It's strictly a connections pick by you, and I got the 11th race. I'm going to start making you a handicap the last race first.
No, not
That's
doing
what
it.
you need to do. You
Nope,
need to handicap the last race.
I'm not going to pull.
This is a total
Major League Baseball
pick.
using the bullpen to start is nonsense.
Total
I'm not doing
give-up
this.
pick here.
It's not a total give-up.
Left on Boylston
Who
second?
do you? Yeah, I don't like the favorites in here. I don't like the favorites.
Okay, I picked a horse who's 10-1 morning line.
Right,
So
okay.
let's look at
There
Good
you go.
Soldier.
Now I got to use
you
tens.
have fourth.
Now I got to use tens too.
You have. Let's look at Good Soldier,
I have
3
him
back
fifth.
at, or 2 back at Churchill, who tried to go 1 mile and 3/8 last time. I thought he ran fine in here. I'll show you a stat, though, not great for Saffie Joseph. This horse is the horse to beat in here, and you've got him fourth. Fine, okay.
You want this horse?
Picked him second. Do I want him?
I'm going to try a couple of prices in here. Hope for some chaos in the finale.
You're
You got some chalk into the late, the
not even
back,
the inner.
back end of the pick
Okay,
5.
There's Saffie Joseph. It is 5 for 28. Just thought I'd stick it up there. You got 2 Mike Maker claims in here. Now, one was 2 back, but first time in the turf. I like Empire Ridge stretching out. I believe he was better going long. This is a horse that ran a race as a 2-year-old in December that with routine improvement is going to be tough in here, and I want to give this horse one chance in the turf for Mike Maker outside. Greg's Honor, obviously, a horse off the claim, gets IRAD. I just figured he'd take much more money in here. You don't even have a first-time Bill Morey in here on the board. He did run in one of the worst maiden claiming fields of all time when he finished fourth.
Come on, man.
His fourth in there was like a last.
I mean, that's a who's who of professional maidens. Bailout, I am the law.
So is Left on Boylston like an anti-Yankee pick by you?
No.
It's not an anti-Yankee pick.
I think Left on
You
Boylston.
know what Boylston is, right?
Yeah, it's in by Fenway. I was going to make I almost put him on top, but
What? Why?
I wanted.
What has he done?
I thought he ran better than it looked last time.
Well, funny. I thought he ran worse.
Okay.
But there you have it.
That about sums it up.
Growth mindset. Leave Seth alone.
1 versus 10. 1 lunch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You watching this, Seth?
He just texted me. He said, "Ask Anthony if I can get 20 lunches on that."
Well, he's not allowed to bet
He did
against
not.
himself.
That's not true.
Oh, it's Jordan Wyckoff. Of course it is. Maybe you're going to have him
Yeah.
come and be your darts partner
I'm actually
next year or something.
You're still bitter about that mini golf game. Don't take it out on Jordan because his father humiliated you.
Worry about it, buddy.
Don't take it out on Jordan because his father humiliated you. We have to go, so head over to Naira Bets. I mean, I don't know any better way to start my day than an hour with you.
There are no better ways.
No, there really
Zero.
isn't. There really isn't. I don't know how anybody gets through life without. I don't know. Honestly, this is my favorite part of every single day.
Toga 200.
There you go. Keep Anthony employed. 200. Travers Bankroll Builder, 50 to win on the Fourstardave.
Opt in.
20 opt in. We got America's Day at the Saratoga Live. It's really America's Day at the races day, by the way, with Churchill.
Correct. That's correct. You are correct. You are
12:30 to
correct,
3
sir.
with me, Greg, and the MIG, and Maggie. And then 3 to 6, a little of us to start it, and then 6 to 7. So jump around. What could go wrong?
I came to
Anthony,
get down. I came to get down.
It's been a great honor sharing this stage
The
with you once
pleasure's been
again.
all yours, Andy. It's all yours.
Johnny I is not up next to reprise the scratch and changes, I don't think. We'll see you later. Have a great day.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make